With all the flagship and budget devices that I review, I sometimes never know what to expect from them, and some just go on to blow my mind after I test them out. A few days ago, I got the opportunity to test out what I think is a strong contender for the best budget ANC headphones on the market. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oraimo FreePods Pro.
I don't really care, I'ma be a millionaire. Like, I don't really care, I'ma be a millionaire. Like, I don't really care, I'ma be a millionaire.
Within the short time that I've had this device, I was impressed with it throughout every second of usage, and I cannot wait to share my thoughts with you. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'd love it if you could hit that like button so that more people can benefit from the analysis that we're sharing in this video. All right, without further ado, let's get into the video. The Oraimo FreePods Pro comes in a big box carrying the brand's customary black and green colors. In front, you will see the tagline for this product, Sound of Silence. On the right side of the box, we see some of its best features, including noise cancellation, transparency mode, clear voice calls, and more extended playtime. Of course, we'll be getting into all these features later in this video. On the left side of the box, you find a short note on the heavy bass feature that this device is designed with. Right under that, you get some exciting information about Oraimo and the 365-day warranty sign. You'll find some key specs and other certifications on the back of the box. All right, let's now get to what's inside this box. Once you open up the box, which took a couple of shakes to budge, you get a pretty aesthetic design that sort of prepares you for what you're about to see next. Removing the covering, you get two decks. The top part houses the earbuds themselves. The lower deck has all the extra stuff like a manual, the accessory instruction card, the silicone casing for protecting your earbuds case and attaching it to a key holder. You get extra ear tips for small and large ear holes, and finally the USB-C cable for charging the case. Now, taking the wrap off of the Oraimo FreePods Pro, I was very impressed with what Oraimo has done with the design of this device. Of all the devices I have seen the brand put out, this one is by far the most unique in my opinion. The charging case comes in a pretty unique color scheme. Sometimes it looks purple and sometimes it looks gray. It also has a goldish Oraimo logo bar between the case and its cover. Despite being designed with a plastic material, the case feels excellent in my hand, and the silicone case that comes in the box adds a level of solidity to the feel of this device. As a side note, it does look like the case is designed with a metallic material, making it look like a more premium device. As for the earbuds themselves, they also look pretty sleek just at first sight, and even holding them in the hands, the build feels very high quality on every side. One extra design feature that I really like is the magnetic mechanism designed to keep the earbuds always inside your case, even if you turn it upside down. Underneath the earbuds, you'll see three dots that kind of look like two eyes and a mouth. These connect to the magnets inside the case, which is how they get charged, and I really like that you can always be confident that your device will not fall out of the case by mistake. It is there and it's stuck there. Overall, the Oraimo FreePods Pro design feels like a well thought out design on here, and that resonates inside and outside. I'm very impressed with the design quality on here. Thankfully, this device is as impressive on the inside as it is on the outside. Connecting this device was really fast and seamless. Oraimo added an extra fascinating feature to the pairing and connection of the FreePods Pro. If you have ever used any Apple earbud with an Apple device, then you would already know that they tend to take pride in the auto detect feature so much. Thanks to Google's fast pairing, Oraimo now has given Android users the pleasure of this feature. Suppose your device is Google enabled, is a Google enabled device. In that case, once you open up the case of the FreePods Pro close to your unlocked phone, it will immediately pop up on the screen with the connect button at the bottom. Please note that you must have Bluetooth turned on for this feature to work. Clicking connect will automatically pair your phone to the earbuds. This connection of the earbuds and your Android device will be seamless. I decided to check its connectivity to an Apple iPhone just for variety, and while you do not get the automatic pop-up feature, the FreePods Pro appears immediately in the Bluetooth pairing section of your Bluetooth page. Once you click on it, the device connects. When you want to reconnect, the FreePods Pro will automatically connect to the device that it was last connected to, as long as Bluetooth is on. Connecting and reconnecting are both really quick, both on Android and iPhone, and I had no issues in that department. You also get a button on the case which they call the reset button, and pressing on that shows you the status of your device's battery. Of course, when you wear the case on the FreePods Pro, you can't find the button anymore. However, it's still clickable and you can just use your intuition to know where it is. The Oraimo FreePods Pro functions with touch controls. One tap on either ear will pause or play your videos or music, and 2 taps on either ear will take you to the next song. For the previous song, you just do 3 taps on either ear. Still on the controls now, holding the right ear for 3 beeps activates your phone's assistant or voice commands. This happens whether you're using Google Assistant on Android or Siri on your iPhone, as the case may be. Holding it for 4 beeps switches the earbuds between game mode and normal mode. The game mode is set to help users create a more immersive auditory experience during their gaming sessions by supporting low latency effects. For the left ear, holding it for 2 beeps switches between active noise cancellation, that is ANC, transparency mode, and ANC off. I'll be commenting on how all of this works later in the video, so do stick around. Moving on, holding the left earbud for 4 beeps does an EQ switch between heavy bass mode and normal mode depending on your listening preference. What I really like about the controls on the FreePods Pro is how it beeps on the touch, and the voice prompts for the different modes that gives you direction. This just gives you a much better understanding of your device and what you're doing at every given moment. Oh, and the touch is very, very responsive, and they've not failed once. All right, let us now talk about what is pretty much the most important category for any earbuds: the audio quality. I was very impressed with the audio quality that came out of the FreePods Pro. Without exaggerating, I find it interesting that this can battle with, the more highly priced earbuds for its audio quality. Depending on the music you listen to, the FreePods Pro is well designed to serve different audiences. Suppose you do not really listen to music that has too much bass, or you just prefer your audio sounding clearer and richer. In that case, you'll just be fine with the normal mode of the FreePods Pro. However, for Afrobeat fans that want the bass, banging at all times, the heavy bass mode helps enhance that experience. The best thing about this is that if you like to switch between worlds, that's depending on your mood now, and music, the FreePods Pro allows you to do just that, and I think it's just great. I also tested out the highly advertised noise cancellation feature of the FreePods Pro. It did not disappoint at all. I mean, I did not really know what to expect in the ANC department with this device. It really does an excellent job of blocking out the noise to offer some form of solitude when you are listening to the audio on this device. Earlier in this video, I showed you guys what a simulated noise cancellation of the FreePods Pro was like. This is an introduction of ANC technology to the Oraimo lineup. It's basically bringing this high-end feature into a budget device that costs less than a quarter of the competition. According to Oraimo, the FreePods Pro's Pro Hybrid ANC can get rid of 35 decibels of noise, while feed-forward ANC, which is ANC that uses the mic to cancel the noise, and you've probably seen other headphones, can get rid of only 20 to 30 decibels. This is because a hybrid ANC uses both feed-forward and feedback ANC, placing the microphones inside and outside, and as you know, the feed-forward ANC only uses the microphone outside. As for its transparency modes, the FreePods Pro could maybe still use some improvements in this area. Instead of just hearing what you should typically expect, the transparency mode on the FreePods Pro adds some ambient noise that could be a little distracting. Now still, it also lets you hear more of the outside world. This does not mean that it is poorly done. I think that a device doing this in its budget range will have a couple of challenges in areas like this. Still, it offers a satisfactory performance without compromising the other essential features of the earbuds. As for the audio quality from the microphones in this, I used the FreePods Pro to make some calls when I had it, and barring network issues, the people on the other side of the phone never complained about being able to hear me. Even outdoors, I never had to talk louder than usual for people to listen to me over the phone. That just shows you how much quality has been put in the microphones on the FreePods Pro. Here is what the speaker and audio recording from the FreePods Pro sound like for a clearer representation. So this is how the Oraimo FreePods Pro sounds when you put it in your ear and you're talking normally. Let me know what you think about this audio quality in the comment section down below. I'll just go right out to say that these earbuds are very comfortable. I had them on for hours, and while I could tell that there was still something in my ear, it never felt like a burden. It is clear that they put extra thoughts into this design and the device, and Oraimo also added ear tips. If you have bigger or smaller ears, the ear tips are there so that the earbuds remain firmly placed in your ears. Now, throughout the time I had this, it never felt like it was slipping or falling. I used it to constantly walk around and even run. It was firm. Testing out the range of this device, I was also impressed with how it performed. This is definitely another box that Oraimo checks regarding how much of a priority quality is. Leaving my device in one room and going as far as the lower floor did not affect the audio from the FreePods Pro until I started moving further away. On the FreePods Pro, I could really see the effect of having the new and improved Bluetooth 5.2 version. According to Oraimo, the FreePods Pro offers a 10-meter range on paper, and in reality it does perform as promised. The one thing to note is that if you start moving into different rooms that have walls coming between you and the device, this will definitely interrupt the playback. That aside though, you get a pretty impressive range with the FreePods Pro. Now on paper, the battery of the Oraimo FreePods Pro is pegged to last you a whopping 13 hours if you run it without noise cancellation, and 9 hours if you consistently use active noise cancellation. Furthermore, you are to get 30 hours extra time from the case without ANC, and running on ANC you get 23 hours of spare time from the case. While I didn't notice how long the FreePods Pro were running, it is pretty clear that Oraimo is putting a lot of work to help the FreePods have a well optimized battery. The device never died on me throughout the time I used it, nor did I complain about a low battery or anything of the sort. Considering that each earbud is designed with a 70 mAh battery, it would not be out of the ordinary for you to come out on top battery wise. Once I placed the FreePods Pro in the case for a few minutes and brought it out to use again, it was already fully charged and ready to serve. Now, speaking of charging, the case of the earbuds comes with 510 mAh of battery of its own that can charge the earbuds 2.5 times. However, after running for about 3 days straight, neither the earbuds nor the case died without any charging. Alright, now let's look at the extra features that we have not yet mentioned. One of the Oraimo FreePods Pro favorite features is the skin detection quality. Once you take one earbud out of your ear, all its features will be turned off and the music will be paused. This of course is a great way to save battery and not have the device running when you are not using it, and I think it's also a plus for when you take out the earbuds to hear someone clearly. Another impressive extra feature that can come in handy is water resistance. The Oraimo FreePods Pro has an IPX5 rating, which means it can take low water pressure from any angle and not damage your earbuds. All things considered, I really think the Oraimo FreePods Pro is a well thought out device in all its categories compared to many other devices that perform at this level, for the price range. They are comparable in quality and feature. However, the price of those devices are way ahead of the cost of the FreePods Pro. If you've been looking to get some ANC action but your budget has been a hindrance, I actually recommend the Oraimo FreePods Pro. Now, let me know your thoughts about all of these features in the comment section down below, and while you're there, be sure to hit that like button so more people can see the analysis and the breakdown of everything we've shared. And if you're yet to subscribe, please hit that red button, the red subscribe button, and hit the bell icon beside it to turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and drop those comments. I'll see you in the next one.